You have
Very
three,
good.
yes.
Okay. Oh, kick me. All right. So here we are with Wiley Online Library, which is Wiley's platform for our online resources. And I'm here to demonstrate it, show you what we have, and hopefully answer any questions that you may have as well. So I have a little introduction here, and I put in there, in a general talking way, why are we here? Why are we here sitting around a web call, listening to me talk? Well, there are many reasons. And the bottom line is you think that you can derive value out of this session. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here on the call. You wouldn't be here at school, in class, etc. And that's where Wiley can help you in getting at what's the most value out of your time and your effort. And there are many ways we seek to achieve this for individuals as well as for libraries and the academic institutions that you represent. With very disparate and multi-layered goals for all the different stakeholders, we need to cast a wide net to show all of the things that we can do to help you in your academic journey. It's not just a journal article, it's not just a book chapter, but in many ways. So let's walk through this together. Wiley is here to assist your needs. Case Western Reserve University has individual needs. They're looking to improve enrollment, keep student retention, publish quality research in the publishing output, have robust research funding brought in, have strong student outcomes after you leave, and they worry about institutional rank and reputation, among lots of things. The library also is there and they have needs. They want to support the university and they want to support the researcher, and they can provide the curated content that a patron needs, experts in the field who can help out the researcher, the student in their journey, and the space to explore the full range of everything that you have available. The students also have needs, faculty, researchers. You need the library resources and the school in order to aid in the development of your curricula, the research, papers, and the individual academic excellence that you're looking to have. So at Wiley, we're committed to partnering with libraries and researchers to draw the connection between what we have as our output, the scholarly research, and what you need as an individual or as a library or as an institution. And that constant content and collaborative approach will help all of us move forward in this great future that we have. So here is something you may see a lot that Wiley points out for our partners. We have the content, we have the journal and the non-journal content that is put through with partners, with societies, peer-reviewed, comes from the outside, comes across from the entire world. We have our collaborations, both between Wiley and libraries or Wiley and authors, Wiley and societies, and we'll be there to give you the best outcome. There's community. We always look to foster the knowledge out there and the spaces that people, when they're not just in Wiley, but out there in the scientific community and the academic community, need in order to provide for a great future. And we have these capabilities that we need to help with discovery, with information literacy, with scholarly writing, especially now that more and more students and grad students are being pushed to create academic papers that are put out there. We can help with that as well. So just quickly to go through this, I'm not going to read every single word that's on the screen here, but just know that we have over 1,600 journals that are there for the researchers. We have non-journal content that could be in journal back files, they could be in books, they could be in digital archives and databases. And all of these things are there as the different components that can help fill out the field that you need to research in. There's collaboration. We try and take a unified approach to all this so that there's collaboration between Wiley and the users, Wiley and the libraries, Wiley and the societies, and the authors and the researchers, the people who hand out grant money. We have information and exchanges back and forth between all of these different constituents. There's the capability that you see on Wiley Online Library. We provide those journals, we provide those book chapters. There's technical support behind the scenes, hopefully, to make all of this work seamlessly. We have lots of training resources, and I would definitely make sure that you want to lean on that anytime you need something and somebody from the library or somebody from Wiley is not there to help out directly. We have these sources, and I'll point them out on the live website when we go there. Again, it's important for literacy and scholarly writing. As I mentioned, with a lot of writing that's being pushed down, not just at once you're a professor or once you've gotten a grant, but further and further down as you assist those professors in their research and in their paper writing. We have the tools that can help with this. As I mentioned, a community, and I'll go into our societies in a slightly later slide, but it's not just us. It's not just a commercial publisher saying, hey, look at all this information we have. Wiley is the #1 society publisher out there in the world. We have over 860 journals that we partner with these societies to provide. And so it's not just Wiley saying we have good content, but these very well-respected scholarly societies out there are providing that content and saying you can believe in and trust in the community of what we're publishing as well. I had talked briefly before we began this session about open access, and I believe Wiley is leading a lot in open access across the world so that science becomes more open, more people can see it, and it's not just held in a library, but available for anyone to see across the entire world. And we're open to the new models and pushing the boundaries when it comes to open access. So for Wiley Online Library specifically, here's a snapshot. You can see what our webpage looks like, which you may or may not be familiar with, because we know a lot of traffic comes in through your library catalog or higher level discovery layers that come through third parties. So it's not to say that you need to know this, but it's certainly where we always go to when we're trying to point out what we have on Wiley Online Library. We have, as I mentioned, over 1,600 journals, and that's growing every year as we expand further out into open access, not just the old traditional institutional rate publishing. We have 250 reference works, 10 million articles across the journals, 22,000 online books that grows by about 800 or so every single year. The books go back to the 1940s. The journals go back to the 1790s. We have a lot of the information that you would need in research that's out there. We have, as I mentioned, about societies, about 750 that we've partnered with, and you'll find them in all levels of our publishing, in the journals, in the reference works, in the books, in the archives that we're now selling as well. So in order to get the most out of Wiley Online Library, it's not just a case of popping in, getting that journal article, getting that book chapter and going, but we have resources for the administrators in order to help them make sense of everything they have at Wiley. There are resources for the individual users. We have information on training trainers. We have user guides that can be downloaded, short training videos, anything that you need and need to become more of an expert in, we have it, because you might be writing a paper for class. You might be preparing a presentation, assisting a professor. You might be attending a seminar and need to know more. You might be tutoring your classmates. You might be working on a capstone project. And all of these resources will be on Wiley Online Library for you to choose and for you to pick at the right time when you need it. As I mentioned, journals are probably the biggest thing because there's the most of them that we're continuously publishing. With 1,600 journals, a lot of them are published monthly, some are quarterly. There's going to be lots of content out there for anyone to digest and to find something that fits into the subject that you're specializing in. I know in the past we've talked at these seminars to a lot of engineering students, and I do have some more specific information about engineering I'll get into here in a minute, just in case. But in general, we have everything from agriculture and business, chemistry, humanities, medicine, psychology, even veterinary medicine that's out there for users to read. So with these titles, with these society partnerships, we have some of the best and most well-known societies that we're partnering with out there. It's significant to know that more societies have chosen Wiley as the destination for the place to put their articles. So that means you can trust Wiley, you can trust the content that's coming out of these journals and know that it's the peer-reviewed content that you're looking for. Just in general, to get at why societies are important. You may have heard of them, you may not know a lot about them, but they're everywhere and they're out there. And societies do have their standards of excellence that they bring across their entire spectrum. You know that they have high quality, and because a lot of them have been long-standing societies that have existed for decades, you can know that their long and rich history is here to assist for the use and the reading of their content. A lot of societies do advocacy of their policy and try and progress society through their scientific knowledge. They do a lot of nonprofit work that's not just what you see on Wiley Online Library, but go out into the community and across the world to aid in the betterment of society. Societies also bring together folks across the world for this collaboration in this research. Their peer review is second to none, certainly, and they bring that to the table with all of their journals that they publish. They're also leading the way in open access. It's not just an author-driven thing. It's not just a funder-driven thing, but the societies also want their information, want their output to be out there available for the world in open research, and that's what we help them with. They're also really great if you want to continue your education beyond just school, but go into a scientific discipline. They're there to help out early career researchers, and they promote their members' important work across conferences and across the world on the web. So this is more specifically, as I mentioned, tailored for the engineering, just to highlight that, is that something that's come across a lot in these sessions in the past. So we have many journals that are top rank in their category. We are publishing with these important engineering societies. And in fact, the one there on the top right, the Institution of Engineering and Technology, IET, we just partnered with them last year for the very first time. And we, along with them, took their entire portfolio of 43 titles from behind a paywall, institutional access into the open access arena. So there'll be even more out there for people to discover with the society. And we couldn't be happier with this brand new collaboration that we've entered into with them. In general, engineering is a very broad category, and it breaks down into many different constituent parts. You have chemical engineering, civil engineering, computer engineering, all the way down to mechanical engineering. And all of these topics, we have journals, we have books, we have reference work content that can assist and help out when you need to look into this. Obviously, some of the things that you'll hear about in the news, artificial intelligence, energy, sustainability, quantum engineering, all of these things that are happening out there and seeking to make our lives better, we'll have information, we'll have dialed in through our research articles and our content that you can discover. Open access, as I mentioned, is not only big across Wiley, but it's also big in engineering as well. The IET journals, all of them are now open access, so you can access any of that content anytime you'd like. We do have other societies that we partnered with their journals that we're publishing, but they've opened up new titles that are now available in open access arena as well, from the American Ceramic Society, the Society of Plastic Engineers. These are very, very important and great applications for engineering in the future. Just quickly, I'll go into some of the other non-journal things that we have. So with online books, while we do have 22,000 books that are available across all of Wiley Online Library, at Case Western specifically, you will have access to probably somewhere around 10 to 12,000 of those books, because your library has been licensing this, the front list of our books for about the past 9 years. So anything that's published that has the brand new publication date, say about 2012 to the present, you will have access to this now on Wiley Online Library. And they're published by the celebrated scientists, the award-winning authors, and has a lot more specific detail that can go into than any individual journal article. They could be 10 chapters, they could be 40 chapters. Those books are available out there for you to use in the classrooms. And as I can go into a few more details, there's no DRM, which some other publishers have. We publish across all the major subjects that you could possibly think about. They're available all the time, 24/7, chapter by chapter PDFs. You can download the entire book, read it as you'd like. We don't have a lot of barriers between you and getting at to the content for our online books. We also have reference works, and Case Western has licensed 32 of them from us over the years. So your library catalog will have those individually, and they function a lot like the books as well. There's no concurrent users. There's not going to get a denial of access in the books that Case Western is licensed. We have training resources. There's no DRM that you have to worry about. You can download what you want. You can print what you want. You can use it in your research, in your classrooms as you need to. And that's what it's there for. And of course, the reference work content is going to have all of that base of information that you need. We won't have the bleeding edge research like a journal article that's just published might, but for a foundational approach to science, this is all great content. And while these are some of our reference works that we publish, Case Western has the Kirk-Othmer Encyclopedia of Chemical Technology. You have the Ullman's Encyclopedia of Industrial Chemistry. You have the Encyclopedia of Polymer Science and Technology. You have organic reactions. So some of our biggest, broadest, multidisciplinary approaches to some of these hard sciences, Case Western has these for you. And lastly, I'll also bring up the Cochrane Library. It is a medical tool, but of course, I think medicine and the health related field has been running our lives for the last year and a half. And it's always great to find out information that's freely available for you at Case Western. And frankly, at this point, across the entire state of Ohio, you can get access to the most curated, best evidence that has been published in research and find this information in the Cochrane Library to help you out. And it's not just going to help you and have articles in there about COVID. It's going to have articles in there about diabetes, and it's going to have information in there about cancer research, and it's going to have different things in there about physical therapy and addiction recovery. All of the things that you will know about just as being a regular human being walking around, you will find information in here in the Cochrane Library that can help improve your life. So with that, that's the end of my PowerPoint itself. Let me go into the live website itself. So as I mentioned, here is the homepage that anyone here at Wiley would hit upon. You may have different ways through the library of getting to a multi-publisher search approach. Google Scholar is certainly one of them. And you'll go in and you can find our content, but directly on Wiley Online Library, we can go in and we can search for something out there, and we can do cell health and say, yeah, no, we want to find out about everything to do with cell health. And so it's going to bring back, 1.3 million articles here. It's going to show you the different journal publications that this content hits on. It's going to show you the different collections. You could narrow it down to journal articles, books, the reference works. There are certainly ways to do advanced searches, which I'll show you in a moment. You can do the different sorting and bring it up by date, so you're only looking at the most recent information here. That we have. I see I clicked on that, so it's reordering. But I'll tell you, in Cell Health, we've had 1,300 articles just in the past week that have published, month. This will help you narrow down your search. As I mentioned, we have journal articles going back to the 1790s, mainly in physics, won't be in health. But it'll certainly cover all the different topics that you might be looking for. And again, you could go into any level of detail that you need to. We have the advanced searching that's available, as I mentioned. Let me get into some of the other functions on Wiley Online Library, though. Again, searching can be done across multiple different ways. So we have down here resources for researchers, researchers for librarians, for societies, for authors. I'll go into specifically what we have here for researchers. So this is can also give you an overview, so you don't have to listen to my 25-minute talk on the PowerPoint that we just did. But if you're interested in finding more about stuff, you can go to Find Research Access Options. Sharing information. What do you want to share through researchers, through authors? Did you want to publish something here with Wiley? Did you need to contact customer service for any reason? We have a lot of these individual pieces here that can help you out. You go across and you're like, yes, I've read the journal articles, I've read the book chapters. There's other information that I'm looking for that I can't quite find. You can go in, we have the FAQs listed here. We have user guides. There's lots of different layers here that we can get to. Let me go in. I also know that, and this in here is not just for librarians as well, but this can go down and hone in for anybody that's looking for a quick overview of the different products that we publish. So if you needed to know about the latest thing that's come out on Wiley Online Library, I saw the press release, I saw the thing that came out. I needed to know more about this. Here, here's our archives. The Wiley Digital Archives are the newest thing that we're publishing. I don't think Case Western has any right now, but as Case Western continues to pull in different resources across, as time goes forward, you'll be able to get in and discover even more layers of things that are out there. So if anybody has any specific needs, I was really looking for a demonstration of X or Y or Z. Yeah, I think you can put it into the chat or just come off mute. There's only 3 of us here. We can get into any specific questions. More than happy to help with anything that I covered if I covered it too quickly. So just let me know.
Thank you, Mark. So
you're welcome.
Simone, do you have any questions? I'm going to stop the recording.